Good afternoon, everyone. I'm in the garden, and every time I'm in the garden, it always reminds me of the situation what it looks like this civilization is in on Earth in these days. Since in the past few thousand years ago, or perhaps tens of thousands of years ago, that's what it reminds me of every time when I'm in the garden. This garden over here. But of course, by looking at gardening in a certain way, as an event, as an act that creates an event, which becomes a memory, of course, should be recreational for pretty much everything what we would like to have in the garden. Pretty much for everything. And it's actually good for this human nature. What we have, what we got. And I am pretty sure that every living being across the universe would probably say the same thing. Besides, of course, the undeniable fact that it is a pretty good nature. Human nature is a really good nature. It is really, really good. That's why there's a reason why human nature remains friendly. That's why humane means friendly. Therefore, human means friend. Now, how did we actually get that? Or how can we actually get it if we lost it? If we got out of our balance, from of our own energy signatures as humans, human energy signatures? That's right. Every living being has an energy signature, as well as everything. Of course, it's already, in a way, it is been observed, categorized. Just look at the periodic table of the elements, which ones already got discovered in this neighborhood, in this area of the universe. That was the reason why I actually wanted to. Oh, I know, this is state of mind. State of mind. This was a specific state of mind, of course, where I just. It was probably around 6, when you have an effect, human nature friendly effect, human nature supportive effect to the environment. That's 6. State of level mind, state of mind, level 6. Of course, we could go higher, we could go a little bit lower. I don't know, what do you really prefer? I say rock the boat, don't tip the boat, baby. And you got the ocean, then the ocean. Yeah, we already got a very good idea about how heaven looks like for us. Let's go up, let's go to heaven, let's go 7 heaven. Lovely English word or expression. you could also say it is sort of, it's in the culture. 7 heaven. Okay, so over here, now I have a whole bunch of, in the time being, I will also explain what I'm doing over here in the garden. I decided to plant these are green onions, just a couple of green onions in the garden like these new ones, and there are a couple others. So these, I already ate the green part. When you eat the green part of the green onions, it's full of the chlorophyll in a way that is actually very beneficial for your blood. It cleans your blood instantly, almost instantly after you consuming it. Especially if you are capable of consuming green onions. Usually as more flavorful they are, as better they are. Not necessarily, like hot, but flavorful. If you are capable of consuming green onions without other clean foods, instead of bringing animalistic things in your body, you would just put plant food in your body. If you're capable of doing it, then it will be even more beneficial for you, of course. But if you're not, that's okay. Just if you want to eat it with it, eat with your animal natured so-called, I don't know if you can really call it human. It is a food, but it's definitely not the most suitable food. It is not really suitable food for the human biological system. Anything animalistic, it's not really. Not energetically, not physically, not psychologically. It's not a good food. It's not a good energy, it's not a good physiology, it's not a good psychology which will go in this human natured existence, including the human soul, its very essence, spark of God. And the manifestation of spark of God, the physical manifestation of the spark of God is human element. Somehow your parents made it. Physically, physiologically. Then you also made it to actually have a human element. Since you became an embryo, we are in the garden. Yeah, it is really interrelated. It is. Now we are planting, so someone with someone somewhere somehow were, or something through them was or were avocado actually planting us. It took 2 humans normally. Of course there are lots of different ways today to have babies. So back to the gardening, when I find weed in the bedding, in this little area where I will just literally put these into little holes, then cover them up so much. So this is, I believe, a relationship will take, which would actually produce something really good. It would keep your blood clean. It would it has vitamins, minerals, all that of good stuff. So using one of my finger, make a little hole, make a little hole over here somewhere. Right over here, okay. It's visual, like I make a big hole actually, and I put some soil in it, and I put this guy in it. This way, the loose soil, what I just dropped in the little hole, will help the roots to grow. And then hopefully I was digging deep enough to make the other layers also soft, so the roots can grow down, spread, all that kind of good stuff. Okay. Because the sun is kind of over there, and it's important to keep both of your sides warm on the sun. So somehow something, either the individuals or something, did planted us. There's a good reason why we keep coming and appearing on the planet as souls in a physiology, in a certain type of physiology. There's a very good reason for it. Our relationship with the planet is extremely, extremely relevant, related. Everything is interconnected by meaning, by all the meanings, energetic, physical, as well as psychological meanings you can imagine on Earth with each other. You will find by biochemical measures, pH balances especially, or even by energetic qualities. Yeah, right. Number one, energetic quality. Everything is energy first. You will find between the same category all the things, how all the things directly interrelated, literally sharing the same energy signature, but they belong to different category. And you will also find the same relevance, or relativeness, when it comes to having actually different qualities existing categorized with perfect harmony with other qualities in a circle. So always will come down to circle and a spiral form. It circulates around, up and down, all the way up, all the way down, sort of like a cone which has both sides, two sides, which could also, of course, expand. You can have more sides, you can have only one side too. Probably there are universes like that also. But at the moment it's like it has this ring, then it goes down and down like a cone, smaller, and then again from this ring it goes up, 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 up. Well, and that's what it is. And then from of course, it appears to be a huge star from a distance. And then of course there are probably those which are already became like that. At the moment we are just having one infinite cycle in this universe. All the rest of the planets in this universe share exactly the same quality of nature. So in the same quality of nature, everything is one and the same. That's like a Hungarian proverb translated into English, that everything is one and the same. But of course, it's just a part of the sage, the complete sage is in the same category of nature, quality of nature, by quality of nature. So that's very important. And then we all coexist normally, if everything goes well at the headquarters, around that ring which we are a part of. That's the Orion star system, that's the Orion belt. But of course, you would rarely find information about the structure of the universe, this detail, like the way I'm telling it, sharing it with you now. Really. And that's the brightest ring. That's the brightest ring of the universe. That is directly around the central sun. Just like we have the equator on Earth, directly around the core. Now this ring has 4 + 1 sections altogether, spreading this way. So now we looked at the structure as a cone this way, and then now we're going to look at the structure because there's a ring in the middle of the cone, right? You can imagine the hat. And then now of that ring there's a radiation this way, and they all have rings. The first ring, the Orion star system or belt, is the A zone. I very well explained this structural design. I don't know how much I mentioned about the cone system and how the universes expand and then they become more like a star up to 8 branches. Like an actual mature star, core, so on. So, currently the Milky Way galaxy is positioned. Oh, this is state of mind. That's why I'm so detailed about it. Okay, good. This is the state of mind number 1, 2025. It was like 2 or 3 years ago I started recording them, so it's good to refresh. It's good to be updated. Even though everything is remaining the same in its own category of core of nature. Even then, it's good to be updated. It's good to care about our universal family. Actually, when we are caring for ourselves, we do that as well. So back to state of mind. So now you can imagine, so the zones go out to D zone. D, that's darkest ring. There are objects. And then it comes back to C, that's where the viruses are. So it's slightly energized things. Like 5%. You could call it a black hole. Of course, a lot of people get what do you call it? Scared about it. But don't be scared about it. That's all good. Normally, in a certain way, with a certain support, everything is just energy. So, yes, this, like just like every other planetary creations, this universe has the outer ring, which is bleach black. I call it a storage because it's just objects. It's like they have probably less than 5% life force energy. What they can radiate, what they can resonate with, or give off, or whatnot. It's locked. Not blocked, just locked. Like objects. Now, the second zone, or now we're coming backwards. So So we started the Orion star system, but I want to make it a bit more interesting. And then we can, I hope you don't mind, because it's sort of, the twist is sort of when you look at the 8, one line goes over another. So there's a loop in it. There is a twist. There is a, it twists technically when, as the stream goes through and circles around, it also circles around this way. (360°). So that's said. This quantumized mechanism of it is true to everything in this universe, in this category of nature or quality of nature. There is a bee trying to go. There's a bee trying to fly. Let's see. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to do with it. Here we are. Okay, I gotta save a bee. 1 second. So it's good that the bee is here. The bee is technically as is an enlarged bacteria with virus infection. So it is from the C and the B zone. We talked about the C zone. They have, how is it? The C zone has 15%, maximum 15% life sustaining ability. That means for them to stay alive, they need to be energized. Oh, I mean, it's bee. No. Okay, got the bee. Ooh, come to the cup. Good. We saved in the grass. It has some chlorophyll in there and fly. So back to the, so we've been at the D, that's the storage room. And then I know it sounds weird, but that's what it is. And then now we got just objects technically. They could be energized, but not really. So that's the biggest ring what we got. They sort of also a shield. They are also a shield. It's like in a way, of course, the physically, physically or physiologically or physically, they are the hardest and the heaviest and everything. So of course it's very, very cold afterwards. Out there after that. So what I'm trying to say is, as closer we get to the sun and we get to the A zone, beings get more and more spiritual, more and more energy, life energy sustaining by nature. Like life means love, care for life, of course, in their own category of nature, accordingly their own category of nature. You can't really expect the different nature being to be like another being, because it's just not. You need think for reality. You always need three. Reality has three conditions, criteria. It needs to be manifested first energetically, and then there needs to be an environment where those energies could be manifested according to their original qualities. What is not happening on Earth, because the Earth's surface and the subterranean world and all the layers got the virus infected, unfortunately, got polluted. So it's not really happening on Earth, but this is the quality of energy what actually comes on us in everything, with everything, because everything, first of all, here around us is energy, a certain quality of energy. Then it gets manifested somehow in this nature. right? So everything is pretty much predetermined as is on Earth, and nobody really likes it as is. You ask anyone with the human soul, as well as psychological access to the qualities of the human soul, you ask anything or anyone like that, they would say no. Earth as is far from its original purpose or design, very far from it by nature. Simply because things need to be organized. Simply because things need to be cared for. Simply because beings need to be cared for. Simply because there's really no one else in the entire universe but every being itself, or him or herself, knows better if they are healthy, what suits them. But to be healthy, you need healthy energy. I'm pretty sure you can see through video, energy is pretty good around here. Of course, the pollutions get to everywhere on Earth. They are just spread, and then the parts of the Earth, or the zones of the Earth, accordingly its energetic qualities leaves through the challenges, goes through the challenges, leaves through the challenges in the best way it can. Parts of the earth supporting each other, like if there is like really gets out of balance at one point, then there will be support, will be arriving in the same category of nature, or to resolve that category of nature which needs support. Earth is extremely intelligent. It Earth is capable of thinking. It really has human nature. It's capable of thinking accordingly simple mechanisms, and everything that comes with it, like mathematics, as well as it's capable of thinking at the same time. Okay. Accordingly, it's true original quantum mechanisms and mathematics, which belong like to the mechanisms. There are certain mathematics belonging, and they are all quantum natured. They are not simple. They are combined. In the same category of nature, the affecting is everything exactly in the way they are momentarily. That's what it means. So, but of course, those categories of nature also belong into one whole and also affecting each other. And that's quantum reality. So that multiplies and divides rather than adds or withdraws. That's the thing. That's the difference. Just in case you understand, the human biological system is created accordingly both, meant to be functional accordingly both. That's why the skin has a lower pH balance than alkalinity. In this environment, in this positioning of the universe, between the Milky Way galaxy and this solar system, we have our skin pH balance is 5.5. That's slightly acidic, so it isn't really a human natured skin, because originally the manifestation, the human soul's manifestation, physical manifestation is human physiology. And when it comes to that type of energetic qualities, as well as volume, like quantities, our skin would be also alkaline, pH balanced 8, just like everything else, at least in us, with us, at least 8. That's the truth. Now, how our body is actually adapted to these effects, what have occurred on the planet, because the planet got shifted to the universe all the way till here, then got anchored electromagnetically anchored in a bay. This bay, it's called the Milky Way galaxy. Within the Milky Way galaxy in this solar system. So there is a big bay. That's the Milky Way galaxy. That's a galaxy. And then there is a smaller bay in the big bay. That's the solar system. And then we have a position around this essential sun of this solar system. So everything is very much like by its category of nature exactly the same. Not elementalized, I'm sorry. Very, when it comes to mechanisms, when it comes to how about like the main principles of the way something is. Look at the same pH balance things, they will follow up on the same behaviors by quality of nature. You look at them, more acidic, more hostile, violent, offensive, harmful, not life supportive. The opposite. More acidic, and more it is like that. It is possible to train them. It is possible. Well, good luck with it. You really need to be very thoughtful to be able to like train beings from the C zone of the universe, or from the CD zone, or even from the BC zone, like the bacteria which has virus infections, or viruses with already having some bacterial qualities developing, happening, affecting. There are different qualities with different pH balances. So the bacteria are capable of sustaining life force energy by themselves as is 25% Li, 25% Li. Like I'm talking about one bacteria. That's a general. I'm talking about animal natured. I'm not talking about the plant and animal hybrid bacteria. I'm talking about now the virus and bacteria, like the predator and the tamed animal. So somewhat tamed animal, right? On the other one, really could be tamed because they are polluted. But yeah, they all could be trained. It is possible. Yeah, they all could be cared for. Like, for example, if you have a very filthy place and you don't want that filthy place to over there anymore, what are you gonna do? Yeah, you're going to disturb the habitants and make a war between the habitants and you. And good luck making war with bugs. They don't know. They were born to do wars. They have wars in them. They acidic, blooded nature. They are war. So you don't want to have war with them. What you do is you either create a filter environment for the bugs somewhere else, so they will go there, and you as soon as that is that ready completely for them, it's gotta be filthy, but it's gotta be more attractive for the filthy ones, right? Talking about virus natured bacteria right now at the CB zone of the universe, or viruses which are becoming bigger and less aggressive, kind of becoming more alkalized a little bit, but they have pH balance like they are at the bottom. Like we could go on. One is the wars, of course, and then the second one is when the first area nature carrier becomes alive. Just pH balance 2, and then you can figure out the rest. If I think too much, if I get stuck in one point, then I forget about the rest. Rest of the important basic human life supportive information are called intelligence, which will help someone to be able to see state of minds and be able to think for them. while being completely safe. Of course, it takes preparation, and this would be like, let's say, the intellectual first, like, foundation of that preparation. Then will be three, or maybe even more, who knows. If something really bad happens, I just keep going. I will just keep updating, trying to remind humans about that anything what is not human nature, but nothing to do with humans. With humans, nothing. So, and if you ask anyone who's human nature, they will all tell you the same thing. They will realize the type of nature which may come through humans, and they will say, that's the one, was it? Usually it goes down to virus nature, and all them as well as bacteria nature, because one produces the other. So this is the way to do it. So you create a filthier place, and then as you created it, you introduce it somehow to these guys, but they will sense it. Bugs extremely well connected in this electromagnetic field, and they intuitively very well connected to everything what is like them, or they would like it, or like them, or like them. It's incredible how like you can leave, let's say, some wine out somewhere, and then you just, oh my god, where these guys, the guys appeared, and as the wine starting to get fermented or fertilized, and you see these little bugs appear. Yeah, they are everywhere. There are so much bugs, probably one quarter we can't even see with naked eyes. At least one quarter away. Need instruments to see them. Okay, so they are Earthian. Thank you for being a good Earth bug, or being good Earth bugs. That will work. So that's one solution. Another solution is if you could safeguard the environment where they are, then take the whole thing as is safely and bring it somewhere else where you know that the surrounding environment of their own environment will be more suitable than where they were. Works every time. These are very peaceful solutions what humans are capable of, even when those C or BC natures coming through humans or animals or objects or plants or effects. Humans naturally have it. Just as a reminder, a godlike as well as angelic nature, godlike humanly creative, angelic means humanly protective. The two together at the same time. So it's pretty awesome. I think it's pretty good. From this point on, I believe there is nothing else missing as actually living with it as much as we are capable of. Believe it or not. And that's a good excuse too, but it's two excuses. But believe it or not, every being or thing momentarily does the best what they can. Now, according to what's happening with them, how they are, all results, everything is results of combined effects. So that's how gracefully, mercifully, politely, respectfully, this is what I believe everything really deserves. This kind of thoughtfulness and empathy. So it's, yeah. Now looking through things, and now I say, let's move forward. B zone. I licked my tongue, I licked I licked my lips because I used to something through me used to consume animals as well. The bee zone, that's where the animals, but it's on Earth as well. They are all here too, in a way. The Earth is, of course. Yeah, the energy signatures are here. The bee zone as well. All the zones are here in a way, in a Earth here, luckily. uh, those are the animals in the bee zone. Of course, as more they may somehow getting affected by the sea zone because the greens they also interconnect, interlink, and they don't only have one bridges; they have more than one bridges. They're like one wing and then up one bridge and then goes to up another bridge and then it goes away and then one. That's right. And you can also teleport if you're capable of. Well, I don't mind sharing with you how to create portals because why would I not? It's a human design and all looked after human normally, or if not, then at least they are still belonging to Earth. So as soon as you create the same energetic quality wherever you want it to be at, now you can manifest the physiological things as well, which comes with energetic qualities in there. That's one way of shifting dimensionally. Of course, when it comes to portals, they also would need to be follow up on the design of the universe, the design of the Orion star system, the ring, the first ring. And then you got a portal which you can use all the way to the universe. Accordingly, of course, which way you would direct your intention, quality wise to visit. Now, okay, back to the. Well, of course, you gotta be that quality too, at least by the way. So it isn't really just like okay, I go visit here and there because remember the real human qualities are belonging to heaven. We wouldn't like it unless we are on a human planet like Earth with Neptune, unless and also with the rest of them, of course, in a way, but mainly these two keep humans alive over here in this solar system. So we wouldn't survive much unless if you have protection. So you will need to be protected. You could use your own energy signature and become something what is over there, and perhaps shift that energy signature here to be this. But then why not just use the, why not I don't know if I really ever meet any humans who would want to become living in a virus or in a bacteria, natured environment. I don't think that would be human anymore. That probably just would be a bacteria or virus, even if it happens to anything or anyone. Could be, same thing. So, bee zone. That's where the animals are. The regular animals. Of course, as more they are cannibalistic or aggressive, as more acidic bloods and vital fuels they have again. Like same applies all the way to this natural order of nature, universal nature. Now, what else can I say about the animals? I don't know if I really need to say anything more about animals because most of the people people probably know already much more about animals than I do. You know, I think from the human's perspective, you also already heard what is the truth by humans, by the human's perspective. If the two natures mix, there will not be an alignment. It's like you were trying to align something that don't not fit. You know, the different natures, and then when they get put it together, when they becoming forced together, or one nature start affecting the other, perhaps it's always the lower pH balance once, of course, higher pH balances, not the other way around. Higher pH balances don't want to have lower pH balances, or higher pH balance sustain the beings don't want lower balance to be sustained. They want higher too. It comes with it. There's nothing wrong with this if you really think about it, because in the beginning we are energies, we are source, we are light, force, energies, and then we get a physiology, and then all of a sudden somehow something, perhaps our soul tells us, hey, it's nothing better than the soul. And you have a physiology, that's nice, but yeah, I'm number one. And then if you get an environment where you can manifest, then you will get a physiology. And then if you get an environment where you can also manifest psychologically according to your soul qualities, then it will manifest according to your own soul qualities. Otherwise, it would differ just as much as the the applicable support conditions are applying. Need to apply. Need to be there. You got it. Okay, B zone. Good thing a bee came around. Probably was trying to tell me, move along. So now we're going to the AB zone. So the AB zone is one of my most favorite zone, because we're utilizing pretty much, when it comes to healing the A zone, we find everything at the AB zone what we need to reverse acidifications and acidifying effects, to actually be alkaline and alkalizing effects instead, like this. That's why it's one of my favorites. Sorry for the rest of the zone, but there is a reason why the AB zone is for someone, maybe the ones who do it otherwise, who are not about to, they got B zone nature, like too much animal nature infections in them, and they would love to see everything to be B zone instead of having A, B, C, D. Yeah, I almost forgot about the third. ABC is not easy anymore. Okay, I'm just kidding. What I'm trying to say is AB zone. So when it comes to those who got B, C, or D zone infections through them, those natures would inspire them to, of course, not like those guys who would love to see everything like the A zone. That's the only thing about it. But when it comes to actually knowledge, so those guys who's got there are infections, and those infections from those guys, there are guys there, or beings and things and effects, which what am I trying to say? Yeah, which non-stop hunting for the information, which will not benefit the A zone. Let's just think about it. From an animalistic point of view, the B zone is bigger than the A zone. The A zone is brighter, and perhaps it has expansions, I mean, they all have expansions like that, but this expansion is done at the core and is super bright and it's pure. So this coupe expansion is true for all of them. It is true for the A zone, the B zone, the C zone, and also is true for the bridges in between them. A, B zone, you know, there are other ones. No, exactly. Where am I now? Yeah, A, B zone. Yeah, that's one of my favorite zones because I got a snake. The snake got me. You see? I won't fight back. I'll put it somewhere nicer. The AB zone is who more uses, like when it comes to improving, like we are, of course we are projecting what we are, right? So from our perspective, we are always most likely in our own positionings, we feel stronger and more powerful in our own environments. So the B zone, the being the what do you call the habitants of the B zone, the animal race, to a certain quality, they have 50% life sustaining abilities. The AB zone 75% by itself, because the way it works is that the brightest zone has 100%, and everything as the rings evolving and correlating and sustaining themselves, and they fall as further they get from the center of the universe, as less. Of course, as bigger they get, so two-dimensionally they grow. They look bigger for the animal race, so they would be like, oh, the B zone is so much, or the B ring is so much bigger, the B zone is so much bigger. They are rings technically. It's so much bigger than the A zone, or the C zone would say, oh, the C zone is so much bigger than like imagine it this way, the D zone is the biggest ring, it's like a bleach black ring, and then as you closer you come, the C one is a dark gray. They are all lethal, they are all natural killers, and then the B zone is half of them are killers because of the infections from the C zone. I know it's funny. And then there's the A zone when there is no killing, it's just recycling and no offenses towards actual conscious beings. Everything kept alkalizing and alkaline, pH balanced at 8 at least. Now that's the Uranus star system, that's the A zone. So I think we covered everything so far. So the AB zone is where we are now. Maybe I'm a little bit biased because I mentioned that's my favorite area because of all the good resources, intelligence, available intelligence through heaven, from heaven, at the A zone, at the A areas of the AB zone, which is technically like a bridge in this spiral ring structure with coupes. Very interesting. Now, what I need to mention, every pH balance will come with dimensional perspective, thinking, feeling, and creative abilities. Every pH balances, of course. As higher they get, as higher your dimensional qualities will become as well. And then, how much you are actually capable of utilizing any of those in an environment where everything is hunting for spiritual qualities, especially if it's human or humane. That's another question. So that was state of mind. Everything is available, all the human life support TV information is available in Heaven's Net. That's like the highest pH balance quality of energy, layer of energy, area of layer of energy field, electromagnetic energy field. Everything is available there on Earth too, so we are lucky. Of course, as more we able to do likewise things together without any disturbances and pollutings and energy withdrawings, it's better we will do. It's better everything we do. Organizing the environment should be very easy. I think there are more than enough information available about everything around us. It becomes a matter of really realizing, okay, how I want to live. I really want to live my dreams as a human, or I really want to live my dreams and something else or someone else's dreams too as a hybrid. I choose the first one anytime. I don't really want to live like an animal or a hybrid. And as far as I can see, if I ever saw any human being injured or polluted and injured, or then and injured, or and then injured, or injured, you don't always come hand in hand, but mostly, then usually it was always an acidic and acidifying nature. So not human, it's always, never a human nature. Human nature cannot, anything but human nature friendly cannot harm human nature. It would just support it. There was always animal nature. Certain type of animal nature, of course, all go back to viruses. And then the bacteria, and then they team up just for the soul. That's right. And then when they can't get yours, then they go get their own. They go for the other animals. But if they can get the human, they go for the human. Naturally. Many people call it evolution, I call it devolution and evolution together. When it comes to actual beings getting, being able to sustain higher pH balances and qualities, of course it's an evolution. And they become more tamed, more peace-loving. That's an evolution. But anything in between what would not support any living beings in the living according to the original designs. Let's keep it here and now at the moment. Yeah, I know. We have been all across the universe, and when it comes to that, we also shift through time. Like there is really no time. There was really no time involved or considered in anything that I mentioned. Time is only a unit. There were dimensions, of course, but not time. Time is only a unit to measure, record, then categorize events. Of course, you have mechanisms which are following up on this instrumental design. The instrumental design. Intellectual as well as physical, as well as psychological. And of course, we get used to it. We can wake up without setting up the alarm clock. Okay, this is it for now. I think that's a state of mind. I wish everyone to get to know human nature first, before anything else, more than anything else, as well as better than anything else. The way you realize that you're learning about human nature and it's really human life supportive, it's really intelligent, is you will come in that way. Okay? Of course, you already know that. It was a little bit hot earlier, so I mean, it was a little bit cold earlier, but now it got hot, so I had to dress up. Now it's pretty nice. Yeah, lots of onions. We have lots of onions. And God bless you. You have tomatoes, there are tomatoes, and the rest of the things are coming up in the future.